Hey everyone, Maury Curtis Dunbar here with Painted Studio. Once again, Facebook is not allowing the cameras to be turned horizontally, so we're working vertically today. Means I'm working a little tiny. So if you can't quite see what I'm doing, please let me know so I can adjust where the camera's pointing and have everybody see. All right, today we are going to use some fabric foils on masks. Now, I've been playing with this for the better part of the morning and figuring out how this is going to work and how it doesn't, because let's face it, this is not easy. We got a lot of pleats and stuff like that. So truly, if you're going to do this, the easiest way to do it is either on the fabric before the mask is sewn. Hi, Barbara. So do this either on the fabric before the mask is sewn or on flat masks that don't have all the pleats. A little more convoluted cut on them, but they're easier to work with. Trust me, I've been working on these all day. So you're gonna look down. When I flip the camera down in just a second, you will see that I have masks in different stages of what's going on, so I can tell you how we're doing things. So let me flip this down so you can see my work surface down here. And you'll see I'm on cardboard, and there's a reason, because I've discovered that in pressing the foils onto the foil adhesive on fabric, the harder the surface under here, the better you get, and you have to use pressure. Okay, so first mask is very similar to this. I think they're supposed to be one black, and I think they're both navy blue. They kind of screwed up this order. And I bought these thinking they were a great idea, and they didn't sew pouches on the back for filters. So once I've finished with all of this, I will be taking old cotton handkerchiefs and stitching them along the top and the bottom so I could slide a filter in if I want to. Now, this is the first release of the spray adhesive, and it's, as you can see, it's a little rough on there, but I'm not trying to stencil. I don't have a flat surface. So I'm trying to work with ideas that will work on odd-shaped fabric. Now this is our Deco Foil Fusible Spray Fabric Foil Adhesive. And I'm really just kind of doing this the fun way. I'm not getting real careful, and you're gonna watch me do this, and it's either gonna be a success or it's gonna be a disaster. Right now, today, I'm guiding you how it can or cannot work. So I'm just taking this, and I've shaken it up a lot, and I'm shaking it again, and I'm taking my spray and moving my other pieces out of the way and just spraying a little blob on. Because what I'm going to be doing is overlapping different foil patterns. Now this has to dry for 10 minutes, so we're gonna set that aside, let it cure up while we work on our next one. This one, I started working with the brush-on foil adhesive, which is on a surface like this a lot easier to control, but I still had some issues with, the creases where the folds are. They want to fuse together if I'm not careful, so I have to really watch how I apply stuff. And I missed, I got a blob in here that I didn't actually manage to even get the foil released on. So I'm going to put my foil right there. I have my iron set to linen, and then I'm going to take it, push it down, and hold it for 30 seconds. "24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. All right. And then we have to set it aside and let it cool. Now, I'm also not going to quite completely set this aside. We're going to work on this a little bit, but I might let it cool just a second because it's really freaking hot. And then the third one, and we used the Deco Transfer Gel for that one. And the third one that we're using, this already came with a pattern printed on it, so we're using the Deco Foil Scribble Writer to work on this one. Now I have an area already done. I have an area that I released some foil on, and I'm going to zoom in and show you how I'm going to do this. And forgive me for my fingers. It's dealing with the camera. See if I can get it to zoom. Here we go. And pull right where you can see it. So I just hooked the Deco Writer here, and it's got its little scribble tip. Pulled the fabric apart as much as I could, and then I just followed, on this particular one, I just followed some of the design. And this is, with these pleats, this is a little bit of a challenge. Nothing's smooth, nothing's even. These I bought when I bought some other clothing. They looked good online. I'm going to tell you right now, they were not the best ones I could have bought because the fabric is a little on the coarse side, and that means I can see through it. And the recommendation for masks is if the fabric is so coarsely woven that you can see through it, then it's not good for masks, unless you're willing to back it and put a filter on it. So that's what I was doing with these. And again, I'll do it with all of the ones I complete, and if none of these are good, well, it was a learning experience. So you can see that I've just drawn in right here with the Scribble Writer, right to the edges here. And again, this is the Deco Foil liquid adhesive. And then you have to let that dry until it's clear. Now I have done some over here, and I'm just going to release a little bit of foil on that so you see how the release works. The Scribble Writer is awesome in that you do not have to have heat to transfer it. As a matter of fact, it's recommended not to, because this will have a slightly raised texture to it. And so if you iron it, it flattens it out completely. Don't do more of this than you can do in a couple hours, because if you walk away from this adhesive and let it cure overnight, it's not going to release for you the next morning. I found that out the hard way. Yeah, I had to figure that one out after I did it. And you can see I'm just rubbing this with my fingers. I'm not using even a brush. I'm going to get really nice release from that. You see there? And it just released. If there's any messiness on there, it's because I'm trying to draw on cloth that's in weird shapes. But it's really coming out nicely. And I got down a little further here. Again, I'm just rubbing it with my fingers. Hey, everybody. Thank you for popping in. Camilla, nice to see you watching me. So here's also something to, should have done this in more sections, because you see where that blob is right there? That's where the mask wanted to fold in on itself and not release easily. I got a much cleaner area up here when I was just drawing on one specific area. So this is a learning experience for me as well. So I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to do some of these details up here, and eventually I'll connect all the lines. But, you know, masks, if you got to wear them, why not have some fun with them? So I'm just going to kind of work this. This is probably going to be the straightest lines of this whole mask right here, because this is a really comfortable drawing spot for me. All these foils and foil adhesive are machine washable. Do not put them in the dryer. You'll reactivate the foil adhesive, and things will the foil will either tear off, or you'll find other clothes stuck to it. I know, because I've had both happen, because I can't follow directions once. I have to have it hammered into my head several times. All right, I'm going to come back down here, and I'm just going to work on this side. I'm going to be giving at least one of these to my neighbor who doesn't want a dull mask. So whichever one I like comes out best. I'm going to show him to them all, and he can pick whichever one he wants. All right, so I'm going to set that aside, and you can see now I've drawn in some pattern, I've released some foil, so it's a very simple, basic apply and then rub the foil over the adhesive and try to get that big bubble down so that it doesn't actually end up peeling up by somebody's face. Now here's the one, it's been close enough to 10 minutes, I guess. This one, the spray adhesive is very challenging on this kind of a surface because you can't lay everything down flat. You can't use a stencil easily. And you see I've got very broken release here. And I'm fine with that because I know that's what I was aiming for. But it's not always going to be pretty. So now I'm going to take this. I got the same gold glitter foil, and I'm going to transfer a little on there. And all the foils that I'm using for this are fabric foils. We try on our page to make sure that all our foils, our website, that all our foils are marked as fabric foils, but if they are not, and you have a question, don't hesitate to reach out. Now I was going to try ironing it this way. I don't know what's going to happen. I've never tried ironing the foils from the back. So we're going to put it on there, and then I'm going to move this a little bit, and I'm going to press. And we got to hold it for 30 seconds. $25, $26, $27, $28, $29, $30. Sorry, I'm not going to force you to listen to me. And that absolutely did not work. So there's one thing to know. That was a bad idea. Didn't happen. So we're going to try it this way. I am trying every way I can come up with to make this the most feasible. I should have taken a smaller piece of adhesive. A piece of foil, but this takes a while. And you got to hold it, and it has to have pressure. Without the pressure, it's not as important. It doesn't feel as important with the other foil releases for the Deco Gel or for the Deco Liquid, but for the fusible spray, pressure is really, really, really important. And I may get a very bad release here. I have been playing with this. Again, not an easy surface to work with. Missing here. I'm missing some up there. Let's see if I can stick the back end of the iron in there. Put the pressure on the back. Here we go. $25, $26, $27, $28, $29, $30. All right, I'm going to set that aside. Again, all of these have to have the foils, they have to be cool before you can release them. Otherwise, you're not going to get any kind of release at all. And there we go. Okay, so I caught some of the spots that I had missed before. So what I did with this one is I took the Deco Gel and took a filbert brush, and I'm just sort of painting on almost like scales. And I'll just be releasing different silvers and grays and blacks and stuff into this. Make it kind of a little more masculine, I think, maybe. A little less rainbow colored than some of my other choices are. Who knows, maybe my kid will like this. I doubt it. He's not going to want foil on his face. My son is, if it's navy, blue, black, or gray, generally he's happy. So Getting him to do a deep dive into a brighter color is not always an easy one, unless it's a t-shirt that says something he likes. All right, and then that has to be allowed to dry until it's clear. So set that aside here and see how this release went. These are gonna cool fast because they're very thin, and we may get good release, we may have terrible release. And see, we had terrible release for all of that work. I have honestly not been having a great time with the spray adhesive on these, and I wanted to show you why. So really what I'm going to do now is take this product, the Deco transfer gel, and just brush it. And I can brush it thinly and cover the entire surface that I had that the other fusible adhesive on, and put that on like this. Now, there have been a lot of questions about if you foil this, how porous is it? Can you breathe through it? Well, yes and yes, because if you're not covering the entire fabric with a film of fusible product, then you're still going to have air breathing through. But the foil will actually, on something like this, which is not a great mask, make it actually a better mask, because then you're going to have an extra filtration layer. I'm not saying that CDC recommended. Do not take that as I am a doctor and telling you this is how to make any mask you have, an N95. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that this will be breathable because I'm creating patterns that allow airflow, but also because foil's releases are imperfect, you get a cracked surface. So what I'm going to tell you, if you want to use the spray fusible, use it on the fabric before you make the masks, or use it on a smooth mask. Do not try it with these pleated masks. It's awful to try to get it to release and do something. You watched, you saw what I did. I did exactly as the instructions, but because I'm working on a challenging surface, this is not going to be the best option. So I'm going to set that aside. This is a blank one. I'm going to finish with all these other ones and decide how I want to do this. If anybody has some suggestions, I could scribble right on here. I could scribble a design. I could then paint in the design with more foils. We could do all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to leave it up to anybody to give me some suggestions. Great. And the camera, this looks navy. In the camera, let's see if I can figure out the colors of these because they're not reading well. I think this is the black one, and this is reading navy, but it's real. They're so close, it's almost impossible to tell. All right, everybody, let me zoom us back in. See if I can get the camera to cooperate, because I'm doing this with my, oh, come on. Of course, it doesn't want to work the way I need it to. All right, everybody, let me see if you don't need to see me that close. I don't want to see me that close. There we go. I couldn't zoom out. So that's a quickie tutorial on this. Again, it works, but it will work better on a smooth mask than these pleated masks, because just pressing the adhesive down to the foil on the pleated ones is really challenging. Do it before the mask is made if that's what you want to do. Or do something like drawing on it with the scribble writers, grab some patterns, just draw right on your patterns. I don't know how I'm going to finish off this last one. I've got one that I like, one that I'm improving on, and one that I'm kind of going, what the hell did I do that? So we'll see. All right, everybody, have a great afternoon. It's just a quick one today. Bye-bye.